Pancakes are a super fun breakfast food to make, and they are pretty easy to make too. But making the perfect pancake can be a bit more difficult. Before beginning to make the perfect pancake, it's important to have all the ingredients, such as the flour, sugar, baking powder, milk, cooking oil, and eggs. These ingredients come from the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, but to make it the perfect pancake recipe, my family has adjusted this recipe over the past 15 years by adding some cinnamon, salt, and maple syrup. It's also important to have all the right utensils, such as a spatula, a large spoon to mix with, two bowls, and an electric griddle. According to the Great American Pancake Company, a company that specializes in making pancakes, the best temperature to cook pancakes at is 375 degrees Fahrenheit on an electric grill or griddle to ensure that the edges don't burn or that the pancake will cook all the way through. The dry ingredients and wet ingredients must be mixed in separate bowls to make sure that all the dry ingredients are equally distributed around each other. We will start by adding in 2 cups of flour. Next, you will add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. This is what the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook suggests, but to make the perfect pancake, you should add a dash of salt and a handful of cinnamon. But this should be at your own discretion depending on how much cinnamon you would like in it. After you finish mixing together the dry ingredients, you should then go turn on the electric griddle to 375 degrees Fahrenheit so that it has enough time to warm up before you start putting on the pancakes. Now that we've finished up stirring together the dry ingredients and turned on the electric griddle, we can begin to mix together the wet ingredients. You start by adding in 2 cups of milk. Then you crack open 2 eggs and put them into the milk, and then you add 4 tablespoons of cooking oil. Mixing the wet ingredients can take a bit longer than it did for the dry ingredients, but it's worth it to try your hardest to mix all these ingredients to the best of your ability. Now that we've mixed together the dry and the wet ingredients separately, we can now begin to mix them together. After the mixture has been stirred about half of the way, add in a little bit of maple syrup, but not too much so that it makes the batter sticky. You'll know when the batter is stirred about halfway when there's still quite a bit of lumps in the mixture. After you've poured in the maple syrup, you can now mix the pancake batter till there's almost absolutely no lumps in the batter at all. This is how you know that it'll be ready to pour onto the griddle and start cooking. Now that everything's been completely mixed together, we can start to pour our pancake batter onto the griddle. This part can take a little bit more time to learn how to do correctly so you don't burn a pancake or undercook it, but with time it becomes very easy to make the perfect pancake. So determining when to flip the pancake can be a very difficult part of actually making the pancakes because you don't want to over or undercook it. According to an interview done by Food Blog, Eat This, Not That, Chef Dana Murrell suggests waiting till bubbles are throughout the pancake to flip instead of just around the sides of the pancake. After you flip the pancake once, you can check to see if the bottom side of the pancake is done cooking by using your spatula to lift up the bottom and see if it's golden brown. If it's golden brown, then it's ready to be taken off the griddle and onto a plate to be eaten, but if it's not, then it just needs a few more minutes to cook. This is also the point in time where you could add some chocolate or fruit to the pancake if you would like in the batter right before you flip it. Today we learned how to make the perfect pancake by following a few simple steps. This was by mixing the dry ingredients separately from the wet ingredients. And then after you finish the dry ingredients, turning on the griddle, making the wet ingredients, mixing them together, and then flipping the pancakes. Overall, it's a pretty simple process, but to perfect it, it takes time and practice. Hopefully after watching this video, you feel more confident in making pancakes for you, your friends, and your family.